Chris, what's up, man? This is me, Guapo Jim, and I'm just kind of doing things a bit different on my end. I wanted to actually do an interview, and yeah, we kind of met up on Reddit, and I'd love to talk to you and just kind of see what you're about. So I know you from your podcast, of course, the Mad Props. So what was your vision for making that show, and what kind of changed over the years as you've kind of gotten more into it?
Yeah, so thank you for everybody listening. My name is Chris Schnabel, and I do host the Mad Props podcast. It started because I've been in radio and podcasting for a long time in my life. I was doing radio in college. I got out of college. Radio was like that first passion I really had, so I wanted to stay in it. But radio is a dying breed, so you had to kind of adapt. And for people that don't know, radio is very it's hard to get into because there's not a lot out there. Like, it feels like everywhere you go, there's, the rock station, the rap station, this station, this station. But in reality, there's really only like four of them, and they just play in all different cities. So the one that films in LA plays in like New Mexico and Arizona and Montana, and it's just the same show. So there's not really that many spots to get into. So I started doing a little bit of podcasting at that time. I worked for some websites and some my friends had different, places to do podcasts, so I did it that way. But then in 2019, I wanted to start up something different. I was doing a documentary series called Offstage, which took you behind the scenes of up-and-coming musicians.
Okay.
In a day in the life type thing. Not the most original idea, but I actually started it because I was just trying to keep my filming skills sharp from college.
I love it.
And it just kind of grew from there.
I love
So the idea behind it was to have somebody come on that was like a up-and-comer and partner with them with somebody that has a following, as made it, if you want to say that. So in the beginning, that's what we did. We had two artists come on, or two people come on per week, every single week, until that became something. It's like, you know what, maybe we shouldn't do two people a week, because booking one person a week is tough. Two people is very, very tough. And then not only two people a week is very tough, making those two people have the same background is really tough. So I just decided to make it one a week. We split all the twos into ones, so those up-and-comers all had their own episodes now, kind of doubled our episode count pretty early on.
Yeah.
I think that was like episode 13. Like, if you're talking about like the double episodes, it was like 13 when we decided to split it off. So we went to 26 pretty quick.
Okay.
And then we just started doing individuals. And around episode, it was very question answer. And around episode like 50 something, Julius Thomas III, he played Hamilton in the traveling show of Broadway's Hamilton, came on, and we started talking about Hamilton. I had a producer at the time, and first, question or two were something about Hamilton. And then before I can get to about 5 minutes in, he sees behind me I have like the Spider-Man comic book, and he's like, "Is that this?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "I was just at the local comic shop from where I lived then."
Yeah.
And we just kind of like went for an hour and a half about comics. And afterwards, he's like, when I'm on this tour, I do press all the time, and it's just Hamilton, Hamilton, Hamilton. This was a breath of fresh air. And from that moment, I tried not to make it as question answer, and now it's way more casual conversation, which a lot of people that now have heard the show have never heard it in question answer. They probably haven't heard Julius Thomas's part because it's only been like a year or so that it's really consistently had viewership. But in the before time, it was very question answer. It was very, I ask you answer, I ask you answer, no real follow-up or anything like that. So now I just continue doing it because I love doing it, even though life is extremely busy, but I still am able to keep it going.
Well, honestly, it's like I love that all of your experiences and all of the interests that you liked all kind of culminated. It came in together. Again, it's so corny to say this. My dad is always telling me, yo, you need to put stuff in your background, let people know who you are. So it's funny that you doing something and having that thing in your background actually allowed you to step into this realm of doing what it is that you're doing now. So go ahead.
I mean, even before studio became a thing, right? The background was always important to me, because it was the only way I could show off my personality most of the time, especially with question answer. Like, we're not talking about Mario or Spider-Man or
Yeah.
baseball or whatever we ever see in the background now. We're not talking about any of that. It has grown to now. My background now, for people that are watching, is kind of all over the place, but something I
In the
try to
best
pride
possible
myself
way.
on. Yeah, I'm a little. I think I'm covering it right now, but if I move over, there's some stuff right behind me. What I try to pride myself on now is getting something from each guest and putting it in the background. So there's a tie to a lot of different guests that have come on now. And eventually some of that stuff will probably be gone and it'll be all guest stuff and that'll just be what the background is.
I love that, man. I love that. It's like, why didn't you tell me that ahead of time? I would have sent you something so we could have set this up perfectly. Like, come on.
And
you
here's
know?
what he gave me.
No, I love it, man. I love it. I love it. Still send me your email, and we'll make sure to get something down there to Texas so you can have something, to keep with the tradition, if you will.
Yeah,
I
of
do
course.
appreciate that. With your love of comic books, I definitely have to ask, of course, the Doomsday trailer just dropped. What are your thoughts? What are you thinking? Like, what are you feeling about the MCU as a whole and how it's going forward? Do you think it should keep going? Do you think it should reboot? Like, give me your thoughts on it.
So this is why you booked the time period you did, because you're going to ask this question.
You know it, of course.
You're going to
Come
go
on.
into this.
Come on.
So I've gotten myself into trouble. When Andy Smith came on, he's a comic book artist. We talked about this, and we both kind of agreed. We're like, the MCU should just reboot. Now, this is 2 years ago, I think. They should just reboot. It's comic books. And as people that are on social media may know, people on social media don't like when people talk, and they'll just absolutely annihilate you. And this one definitely got some hate.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, why would they do that? They built it all these years, blah, blah, blah. Comic books don't reset. First of all, if you say comic books don't reset, you just don't read them. They reset all the time.
What do you think every crossover is for?
Yeah.
That's the point.
No, you're right. Spider-Man's been alive
Yes.
since 1963.
Yes.
He just keeps aging
Yes.
until he's 200 years old, but he still looks 34, right? Yeah, okay.
It's like Captain America's a World War II veteran. What do you guys?
Yeah,
Come
right,
on.
that's
Come
what I'm
on.
saying. Like, how many of those are still around? Not many of those guys are still around. So it's just funny. So that was a lot of mine. I'll give you my opinion, what I think. Then I'll give you my opinion of the trailer because I already started tangenting off into my own thing there. I always said they should reboot though because the reason the first 10 years was so big wasn't just because they built it up correctly, but it also was a mix of characters they brought in became huge, mixed with characters that were already big. When they started that first Avengers, the reason it went the direction it did is because Marvel didn't own Spider-Man, they didn't own the X-Men, they didn't own Wolverine, they didn't own those the Fantastic Four. They didn't own all those heroes, and if you weren't really into comics until the movies, you would know. The reason they didn't own the Hulk, Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, specifically Wolverine, like the X-Men, yes, but literally specifically Wolverine was because those were so popular that Marvel had to sell them because they were going bankrupt. So they sold all the popular rights off onto it. So they were able to take the ones they still had, like they could never get Captain America, so that's a layup, right? They made Iron Man into an S tier when he came in at like a C tier. They're using all these characters that people love, mixing it with characters that they came to love, and then towards the end, when people really got into it, again, something that people don't talk about, people didn't really get into it until like that last like 4 years. It was 10 years long, but it wasn't until like that last 4 years, like Civil War is really when you get like a lot of buzz about it, and then going into the Endgame and all that, that's when people were dialed in. But now you're throwing in like Spider-Man, and now Sony and Fox, I guess it was Fox, not Sony, they're making the X-Men movies, even though they're whatever, people are watching them. Deadpool becomes a huge hit. Like, so Marvel's really in the talk. Now you kill all these characters 10 years later, and you're trying to redo it again with these characters that you've brought in, but it's not going to hit the same because Shang-Chi is not Iron Man at the end of the day. Like, Iron Man was like a C to a D, but no disrespect. You're talking about like a D to an F.
I get it.
Like,
Trust
these are
me.
people no one's ever heard of.
Yeah.
Like, no one ever heard of the Thunderbolts. No one's ever heard of a lot of these characters.
Ironheart.
Ironheart. Yeah, like
I get it.
And then the last big problem before I go into what I think about the Doomsday trailer is they're taking now these characters and just trying to replace the old ones instead of building them into their own story. So Ironheart, they're trying to have Iron Man. the new Black Panther is trying to replace the old Black Panther,
Yep.
like things like that. That's another one. I love Chadwick Boseman, not just as Black Panther. He was an amazing actor. But
R.I.P.
when
I
he
get it.
passed, probably should have looked to replace him on there because his story wasn't over, and it
No.
kind of he was supposed to be a big part of that second half. Obviously, he passed away. There's nothing that can happen there.
Yeah.
And I think they just Disneyfied it a little bit too much, and it kind of went that way. So that's why I say they should just reboot. Then you can bring back all these characters that you built for people to love, and then mix them with maybe some new characters that I haven't met yet, and then you can build these new characters into characters people will love. But now you've taken characters people love like Doctor Strange and thrown them in the trash because people didn't like that movie, and you're taking characters no one's ever heard of, and you can't combine them with anybody that they like. So that's the short answer, first of all, of that part of it. If you have anything you want to say, so to break up my talking, please feel free to jump in.
Everything that you're saying, you are 100% bang on. And this isn't because it's an interview and I'm trying to glaze you. It's like, no, you're 100% bang on. I've thought the same thing. We're comic book people here, so I love these times where I can really geek out. But it's like,
that's the best part about all this. I can go
it.
buy comic books and people love it.
My God. But for me, it's like, and I think kind of what happened, especially with the MCU, they kind of put themselves into a hole. Like let's just for a second, we'll use DC. It's like we have seen multiple iterations of Superman, multiple iterations of Batman. So to see this character played by somebody else, it's like, yeah, like that makes sense. Like we've seen, just in my lifetime alone, I've seen at least 3 different Superman actors, 6 different Batman actors, and it's like you're still able to know this is who that character is. As you were saying with Chadwick Boseman, again, R.I.P. to the real one, it's like they should have just casted somebody else or changed the story in a way, you know what I mean? Like especially now that you're tapping into the multiverse, there's so many things that you could have done to just, this guy's now Black Panther. He's this Black Panther from that universe or that, like there's so many things that you could have done to make people care other than what they did. And this isn't me This isn't me talking bad on Shuri. Like, I know that there is comic book precedent with her becoming Black Panther. I get that. But, like, as you're saying, it wasn't the right way of going about it. Not at all.
Too early.
Not at all.
And knowing how Marvel acts now, instead of going into the multiverse and having a new actor become Black Panther, and now that's the Black Panther, they're going to do shock value, and they're going to see Black Panther, and they're gonna think it's him, and the mask, it's gonna be Childish Gambino. Like they're gonna do something like, oh my god! And then everyone's but is he the best person for it? Probably not. No. But that's what they're gonna do to make people go crazy. Like it's that shock value, and it's all that. But it's DC's a great one to bring up for what we're talking about, because they thought that they could just do it again now that they have Spider-Man and Deadpool and Wolverine and all these characters they're bringing in. They're like, oh, we can just do it again because they're even more. These are the characters, right? The Fantastic Four is the character group. But DC has shown us they got Wonder Woman, they got Superman, they got Batman, they got the Flash, and guess what? They failed. There's only one character in all of Marvel that stands up with any of those guys, and that's Spider-Man, and that's their most successful series of late. Other than that, Marvel hasn't done anything. But guess what? Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman failed. So it shows it's not the level of the character. It's the way that you present it, and continuing past the blip and continuing past Endgame just wasn't the right way to do it. Just close the book. Story's over. Let's start again.
Start again. Like anything, start again. As you were saying before about using this as a reboot, I hope that they do. Whether they do or not, I don't know. But like even what you were talking about with shock value, like going back to just casting Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom, like it felt so like, I remember seeing the casting and it was like, really? Like that's what, and I get the whole Kang, Jonathan Majors thing, which even then, that's a whole nother story.
Replace him. Like that's fine. The character could stay. Yeah. They did it with the Hulk.
Yeah,
the Hulk was replaced.
Exactly.
Like they could do it successfully. Like Mark Ruffalo's the Hulk now. Like he didn't. It was Edward Norton.
Yeah.
But they just left it that way. I just interrupted you. Go ahead.
No. You're one. Again, I love these topics. Trust me, because it's like this is the stuff that gets me. excited. These are these moments of like half the reason I wanted to talk to you because it's like I knew that you had a zest of you like this stuff the same way. So it's
I'm
like I like
passionate
it.
about it for sure.
Trust me, I love
I'm
it.
passionate about this kind of stuff for sure. Like growing up, I've told this story a million times. I'll tell it again. Growing up, my dad and I would go to flea markets, and I would get big boxes of Spider-Man comics. They were going bankrupt, so I get them we get like a big box for nothing, $5.
Yeah.
And that's how I got into Spider-Man. That's why I like comics a lot. We've had a lot of comic book writers on, and we've had Scott Koblish, Andy Smith. We've had Kyle Higgins of Radiant Black, which is like a newer age comic book.
Love Radiant Black.
I love all that stuff, but Spider-Man will always be number one in my heart because of the sentimental value it has. So to see them, it's another opinion, which we can get into a little later or something because we're still talking about Doomsday. But I don't hate the Tom Holland Spider-Mans, and I'm glad it's the direction they're going. I can't wait. I'm going early access next week. Cannot wait to see it.
That's coming up. Yep.
Yeah, it's coming up next week. Well, the 29th is when I'm going to see it. 31st is when it comes out. I don't know when this is coming out, but of July. But I like how they're kind of like they made everybody forget, and they're taking that more grassroots approach because it seems more to the story. Like people love this Tom Holland one. Everybody still goes back to the original, the Sam Raimi Spider-Mans, which we just rewatched them. Fantastic movies. Even 3 is not that bad. It's not great, but it's not that bad. Yeah, but like when they made Tom Holland basically like trying to become Iron Man Jr., and he doesn't make any of his tech. Tony Stark makes all of his tech, and he has to be bailed out all the time. And it's just like, that's not Spider-Man. Like, Spider-Man was so good because he was relatable. Like, he had to come up with solutions on his own because he didn't have that help. And you can relate to it. Like, he's resourceful. He has to come up with it on his own. And he had nothing. He has nothing. Like, the worst character in the beginning of the comics is Aunt May. Worst character is Aunt May because she's always sick, dying, or just angry. She's always that way. If you've never read the original comics, you will just like almost want to explode. She just always, there's something wrong with her constantly. She lasted the entire run. She's this 80-year-old sick lady for 200 years, and it always interferes, and you're just like, dude. And then she turns on him and it's like marries Doc Ock.
I love that. Like, again, Aunt May, I know exactly where you're coming from.
What are you talking about? Doc Ock?
It works.
He's been proven to be a dick.
It works. It works. And it's like everything that you're saying about Aunt May, like, it's like, I love her as a plot device because one of my favorite because everything that you're saying, 100%. Like, Spider-Man, I can't tell you enough how much I love Spider-Man. And one of my favorite Spider-Man storylines is the storyline when happened like just after Civil War, when he tells everybody his identity, and then the Kingpin puts a hit on him, and he ends up shooting Aunt May instead. That storyline made me like, oh my, like that. That's the type of stuff that I want to see.
Spider-Man and it still be successful.
Yeah,
but that's what upset me is they tried to take the character everyone loves and not take a chance. So now you're begging for Tony Stark's approval, and then Tony Stark's died. It's like, I'm the next Tony Stark.
But
that's like just trying to continue the legacy. They should have had him just be grassroots. He helps the Avengers. That's fine in Civil War, and he helps them in the end and everything like that. But he doesn't need the tech suit. He doesn't need all that stuff. Like, just let him be Spider-Man. And now it looks like they're going to bring Venom into it in this new one, which has to come from that other universe because that's what they already set up.
Yeah.
But the plot point they're setting up now should have been when he gets the Venom suit because comes back with the black suit. Comes back with black suit Spider-Man.
This is my thing though, because again, they've kind of been hinting towards like saying that maybe like I was gonna say Mary Jane. It's not Mary Jane. Maybe it's Jean Grey in this, and like they're trying to go the mutant route to try to introduce mutant. Like, I've heard like little whispers here and there, and in my head it's like I just kind of think to myself, A, I wouldn't have done that. And B, if we are going to go the comic book route of like introducing mutants in, it's like there's so many other mutant characters that I would have done adjacent. Like, if we're talking like Ultimate Spider-Man, at one point, like he was dating Kitty Pryde. Like, you could have like thrown her. You know what I mean? Like there's so many
Yeah.
other things that they could have done. Like assuming that they don't go that route, because again, I don't know. We haven't obviously seen the movie yet; hasn't come out yet. But just I don't know. Like I I love Spider Man. There's so many things about him. It's like I've always said, like I wish he grew up, you know. And even in comic books, I've always said that. Like I've been like, man, like I wish he would just not get old, but you know what I mean. Like they keep him young all the time. He's still the
When is he
student.
ever going to be 50?
But that's what I want to see.
When is he
Like
50?
that,
Yeah.
to me, that would be the
They've gone
interesting
into
thing.
the 30s, and I think even the
Yeah.
early 40s, and some major. The latest one, who was the one that started the guy that was the writer for Robot Chicken, and then he wrote for Spider-Man. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
But he was Spider-Man like in his mid 30s. He owned the tech company. He was divorced from Mary Jane. Like that's where they started that one up.
I want to see that stuff.
The problem with that comic series is it started to take too long, and then I can't remember what his name was. He left the comic, so now a new writer has to pick up a story that wasn't concluded, and then it just becomes a mess from there.
Not his
But
story again.
I keep name dropping, but I am promoting my podcast. JMD Mateus probably has one of the best storylines of all time, Kraven's Last Hunt.
I was just about to bring him up. Not even to glaze you again, but I was just about to bring him up and bring up that podcast. Like, great episode, but continue.
You want to talk about going for it. Like, that's a completely out of left field storyline. It's not like, but that's what all I'm trying to say is you can take chances with Spider-Man and still be successful. But what Marvel decided to do is not take chances with Spider-Man. And now it looks like they are going to try to go that grassroots route. My hope is when I saw No Way Home, No Way Home in theaters, I was excited like everyone else because you get to nostalgia down your throat on that one.
That's the point, though. Spider-Man fan service. Yeah.
Yes, and you go back and watch it again, and you're like, oh, there's like a lot of plot points, like a lot of plot holes in this. Like, there's a lot of plot holes in this that don't make any sense.
Yeah.
But then you're like, they did it for fan service, like you're saying. Like they brought back the Green Goblin, and the Doc Ock is my favorite villain of all time. I love Doc Ock. If you were a comic reader like I am, sounds like you are, but I'm talking more to the fans.
Yeah.
If you're a comic reader like we are, Doc Ock is intelligent. He's very well mannered. He's put together. He can fool people. Like I said, Aunt May marries him. Like he can fool people very easily.
Charming.
Because he's so charming. He's so manipulative.
Yeah.
But he's also as a villain really good. Even when they introduce him, because every one of these villains introduced is corny. Because it came out in 1963, and it's like, you know, the Shocker was electrocuted. Now he has electric bolts. Like Electro was in a electric field, and now he's all electric. Like they're corny for that reason. But Doc Ock he started out a little bit like that, but they just really molded that character really well. A lot of people talk Green Goblin, but it's mostly because of Sam Raimi, and that is a major character and everything. But Doc Ock is my favorite. So when they brought him back in that way, and that's how Doc Ock is now in the new Spider-Man universe, I was actually kind of upset. I like Spider-Man too, but like I would have loved to see a new Doc Ock. Doc Ock in the Spider-Man game was fantastic. The video game, like I love that villain in the game. Like from beginning of story to end of story, it grows so well. It's not the same as the comics. It's not the same as the movies, but it's still really, really good. Like I just feel like they burned all their good characters in that movie for fan service. We kind of bounced around a little bit here, but
No. It's because again, now I'm even thinking. So, okay, speaking about your love of Doc Ock, I have to ask now. Again, we led into this. What was your take on the Superior Spider-Man storyline when there was a whole mind switch and now Doc Ock is in Spider-Man's body and like how did you feel about that storyline? Personally, I'm speaking like. I loved it. Everything that you're saying about Doc Ock, I think that those traits coming out of Peter Parker, they're just chef's kiss. But what did you think about it?
I think it was a really good storyline. I haven't gone back and read it in a long time. The only one I've gone back from before the 2000s to reread recently was actually the original run. Okay. Like I read that original run from 1963 until like the 90s. I think I tailed off in the 90s because I just went through almost 30 years of comic books, but it's easy because they're 12 pages, right? So it's like you kind of fly through them. But even what you're talking about, like to get that different perspective is amazing, but also to put a whole bow on this, you could do something like that, it's one of the best runs, and it's something completely out of left field without having to try to have a safety net. Like if that doesn't work, that you have to continue
It
the
wasn't
run.
gonna work. Yeah,
It was the not.
yeah,
I'm pretty sure that run came out in the '90s, especially
yeah.
in the '90s. That has to go. They're going bankrupt. Like you're not. They already sent it to the printers. You're not changing the story.
No,
You know.
trust me,
But
bro. Oh my gosh, this I again as a Spider-Man fan, it's like I've had conversations for years. Okay, I don't even want to keep going because it's like I could talk about
no,
Spider-Man. Trust
I can
me,
talk about
I
this all
could.
day. So this
I
is
could
great.
talk about
And I'm
Spider-Man.
I'm a passionate person about anything I talk about, not just Spider-Man. If I talk, I'm passionate about it.
That makes two of us, man. Trust me. Okay. You've obviously, again, you've got your podcast running. You've spoken to a lot of different writers and just different people in the comic book industry. Which guest would you say surprised you the most or gave you a tidbit of information that you weren't looking for? Or like, you know what I mean? You weren't expecting? And how did that come up?
Well, the biggest piece of information I was ever getting that I didn't expect was when Julius Thomas came on with the comic book thing, because that changed like the entire premise of it. If we're talking just comic book writers, Andy Smith, believe it or not, I met over LinkedIn years before my podcast started.
Wow.
And one day I just reached out. I was like, "Do you want to come on?" He said yes. And to hear how opinionated he was, kind of the same as I was, from the movies, was very shocking, because I've talked to even outside of this, you go to a convention and you talk to them. Like usually people, they're either very passionate on one end or the other end, but for the most part, especially the people that worked on a lot of these things, they'll be like, yeah, that direction was kind of weird, but I love the character, very political about it. He kind of went up and in. He was like, he was ready to rock, and that kind of got me too. And having comic book writers on and hearing about like how little they get the respect for Scott Koplish is a great example. Like Deadpool movie is huge, and he loves Deadpool, and it's his favorite character he's ever done, but he doesn't get that recognition that like the original writer would, or something like that. And it's something in comics that's still a big deal, getting the recognition when things do become film or TV or something like that. Because there's a lot of people that all over time work on that. Like you can have a whole other listing of credits of people that just were the writers or the artists or the inkers or something like that on those that just don't get that. They don't get the shine that like the creator of Deadpool gets or something. And the problem with that is a lot of the storylines in those movies, like some are brand new, but a good portion of them are taken from the comics because they know that's what people want. So the original writer might not have been like Stan Lee may not have written, whatever the 1998 one was, because that's now on to DeMatteis, or it's on it's on to somebody else. But that person doesn't get that same recognition that Stan Lee does because he created, or Jack Kirby because he created the Fantastic Four. They are the ones that get the shine because they're the creator. So it was a very insightful piece of knowledge to get about comics and where people just don't get that shine that they deserve. So it's interesting. It's a tough one because it's still really comic book movies. Now they're not the top of the food chain anymore. They're kind of on the down. But if you think about it, it's only been 10 to 15 years that they were really like the movies to have. Mm-hmm. Hasn't been that long, so there's still a lot to figure out on it.
Okay. With that said, would you say that there, like, growing up, was there one writer that you really loved? Like, you read a lot of Spider-Man comic books. Was there one writer from a Spider-Man series or like a Batman series that you were like, man, I love this guy's stuff? Like, anytime he writes a storyline, I want to see that storyline. I love the stuff that his mind comes up with.
So, yes. There was never whenever this person comes up, I'll go get it, because the way I got comics was usually, like I was saying, I would get them from flea markets and stuff. So, like, this guy wrote the series in 1967. I probably am not going to get his new edition anytime soon in 1998. Yeah. But it was a really full circle moment for me because DeMatteis is and was one of my favorite writers of all time. So for him to get him on. It's funny because some guests I get, people are like, "Oh yeah, that's a cool guest," and like, but for some of those people, for me, are like big time, like all time people I've always wanted to talk to and stuff. Like Rob Paulson's another one. I forever in my life wanted Rob Paulson to come on my podcast.
Oh my God.
Never thought it was really going to happen.
Wow.
Especially after he had his throat cancer and stuff.
Yeah.
But having him on was like unbelievable. Billy West coming on. I mean, you need about 15 people's hands just to count half the things Billy West from. So for him to come on is just like pretty unbelievable. So DeMatteis is probably my favorite, but that's because the Kraven's Last Hunt is my favorite storyline of all time. Mm-hmm. And I like I said, I like the original run, but I wouldn't say those are my favorite stories of all time. But I'm thankful for Jack Kirby and Stan Lee for sure.
Of course, we all have to be. We all have to be. R.I.P. to the legends. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say DeMatteis is probably my favorite writer. I just like how he takes he takes risks when he writes. He doesn't follow the mold. He doesn't follow the story. It's like this is what I'm doing or I'm not doing it, and it always comes out as gold. So he's going to be on the 100th anniversary, 100-something anniversary, 1000th issue. I can't remember exactly what it is. It's a big anniversary coming up, and he has a storyline in it that revisits Kraven's Last Hunt. So that's just shouting him out. He has something coming out. So if you like him, he's going to be in one of the newer. I don't remember if it's like the 1000th ever issue or 100 years or something. I can't exactly remember what it is, but it's a Spider-Man storyline that's going to have a lot of former writers in it. Probably going to be a $45 issue, but you get to see well worth it. Exactly.
Well worth it. Okay, you keep bringing up Kraven. I have to ask, did you watch the Kraven movie, and what did you think about it?
I did not watch the Kraven movie.
Really?
So there's two reasons for this. One, all I had to do is see the ad to know I didn't want to see that movie. My time to me is very valuable. I'm just kidding. For starters, I'm awful with movies. Like, unless I can't really sit still too well. I could do this because I don't really consider this sitting still. My brain's moving and stuff like that. I can't sit still and watch something for a long time. I tried streaming today because I'm trying to find different avenues. I can't sit and play a video game for an hour. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea. And so movies, unless I like Spider-Man, I want to see Spider-Man. I'm going to be invested in every second. I'll go see that. Unless I'm so invested I want to see it, I don't go see movies just because I can't do it. I too much ADD. I have to move. So when I saw the ad for Kraven, plus all the other stuff Sony was putting out, they're putting out all these villain movies with no Spider-Man. And it's just like...
Yep.
Like, Kraven comes to America to hunt him.
Exactly.
That's the whole point. Like,
Yep.
How does he get here? Yeah. Like, it's funny though because Sony would make those storylines and put them into the Spider-Man video games because they had the movies. So Kraven's storyline in the Spider-Man game was great. Like, but the movie was, I don't know. I couldn't tell you if it was good or bad. I just assume it was not great.
Well, as somebody who unfortunately or fortunately did take the time to sit through it, I can honestly
the fact that this is the thing. If unfortunate has to be a part of the adjectives, there's a good chance then that's the one you're supposed to use.
No, honestly,
no one's ever saw an amazing. I never said I unfortunately saw Shawshank Redemption. I had to sit through that movie. Like, no, and that's a long movie. No one's ever said that. But they've unfortunately seen that Spider-Woman movie, Sydney Sweeney.
Again,
that could be a fortunate though, depending on what kind of movie you're trying to watch.
My thing, especially if we're talking Spider-Woman, I think, and this is just me, again, I'm somebody who's chronically on the internet. I love the idea of that Spider-Woman movie only because of the content that it created for other YouTubers. Like, they knew that the minute that came out, it was so bad. How many people's careers have been started off of like making a video about Spider-Woman? Like, just how bad it was. Like, I love that type of stuff.
You bring that up. This is not about something bad.
Yeah.
So I love the show Dexter. And I just read the book Dearly Dreaming Dexter. That's what the show's based on. Dexter, the Showtime show, not Dexter's Laboratory from Cartoon Network, of course. But I read the book, and I watched one video about the book comparison to the show because I've seen the show 1,000 times. Doesn't end great, but it's a fantastic show. I'm saying I don't know if you've seen it or not, but you can follow along still. Because it's not going to be about that. I watched it once, and now my YouTube is just Dexter videos because I watched one video once. But I look at some of these creators, and I look at like their follow counts and things, and I'm like, there's like 300 YouTube creators with 500,000 followers that just to this day, Dexter's done. They to this day create Dexter content. Like, what was I doing? Like, why didn't I do this? And then there's ones like, would John William Gacy or Dexter survive? It's like, I don't know, but I kind of want to know.
Interested, yeah.
Is he better than Charles Manson? Well, I guess Charles Manson would because he was real, but Dexter's not real.
My interest has peaked. I need to see.
Yeah, now my interest is peaked. Exactly. So I just couldn't believe how much, and still I don't watch any more of it. I didn't watch that one. That is an episode. Like that is actually one someone's done. That was not me making that up. That one you could search.
Oh
I may have said the name wrong, but you could definitely search it. I think I said John Wayne. I think it's John Wayne Gacy. John Wayne Gacy versus Dexter, who would win? Is an actual video on YouTube and has like 2 million views. But anyway, I couldn't believe that Dexter's been done for so long because the last season came out. It's got to be almost 10 years ago. Yeah, they're doing all these spinoffs and stuff, but the show itself that people talk about is over. Yet people are constantly, every week, making a new Dexter video. I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. So going off what you're saying, how many people were created off of a bad movie? Well, like 200 people were made off of one of the greatest shows I've ever watched. I can only imagine terrible movies. That's Drew Gooden's whole thing, isn't it? Go find terrible stuff and just make great videos.
It's true, but it's so true. It's so true. And there are times where I want to go that route, and then I'm like, no, like there's that part of me as a creative where I'm like, man, like somebody put their time and effort into this. I don't want to disparage them and put them down. It's one thing to say it just wasn't good.
You can critique. I love that thinking, but you can critique things without being an awful person back to it. Now, there are a lot of people that are like, this is trash. Who would do this? Just quit. But there's ways to critique because you're right. Someone made that movie, and at the end of the day, they sat back to like, man, this is going to be great. This is going to be great. But I will say sometimes that doesn't happen, right? Like you've heard the stories of like I created and the studio stepped in and they did all this stuff and now the movie's trash. But I think critiquing movies, even if they're bad and giving them bad ratings and stuff, is still great for the film industry because whether you think it or not, these people usually see this stuff at some point or another. Whether it's you or someone like you, they're going to see the criticism and hopefully they could take it and build off of it. But if you're someone that's just like, you suck, you should quit, this is awful, look at this shot, trash, this shot, trash. But if you're actually sitting there critiquing, it's like, oh, this one, they went with a medium shot. They should have gone right up on the face. It would have given more emotion to the scene. You know, something like that. Like the lighting was too dark. You needed some kind of backlighting to show the mood, whether it's red or blue or green or whatever you're trying to show in that moment. That's actually good feedback. Saying something sucks is, you shouldn't do that because it does nothing for anybody. You're just an internet troll at that point. I love the people that do that on the comments. You go switch, oh, you have 3 followers. You started 4 days ago, but you say, I suck. Interesting.
But again, it's that's what sells. These guys, they know that's the controversy is what sells, you know? Okay.
Yeah. That's why I bring up Drew Gooden. Only reason I bring up Drew Gooden and something like that, by the way, is because he's a fellow Orlando Magic fan. That's it. I know thousands of people do the same shit he does. I only do it because he's a fellow Orlando Magic fan. I will always shout out my Magic fans. Played basketball with him once. He's a cool dude.
All right, we gotta go down that path. With that said, talking about Orlando Magic and the East, we'd be remiss to not have a conversation and talk about the seismic change that is LeBron James going back to the East. How do you feel about it?
Okay. I like LeBron. I'm not like a LeBron stan like the people that moved to Philly in the last 3 days.
Come on, bro. Come on.
But is LeBron your GOAT? Is like LeBron your guy?
How do I say this? I would say in terms of somebody that I grew up with, yes, I would kind of say that he is my guy in the sense that like if we talk about like any of those Mount Rushmore players that people, the Kobe's and the Jordans.
Yeah, he's definitely on a Mount Rushmore.
He's that guy for me.
Too. Yeah,
he's that guy for me.
100%.
He's that one that I watched him.
But are you a
saw
LeBron
him.
stan is what I'm saying. Are you making songs on the internet about how he got to the 76ers?
I wouldn't go that far, no.
Okay.
But I definitely am of like, if we were talking like who is one of my favorite, basketball players of all time, yes, I would say I'm a LeBron guy.
He's one of my favorite to watch too, especially when he was like at his peak. Yeah, when he was at his peak.
Miami Heat, Miami
there
Heat,
may
LeBron,
be
yes.
no one in the history of basketball that was more fun to watch than Miami Heat LeBron James. I've never really got to see Michael Jordan other than highlights and when I was really young.
Exactly.
I was too young to remember him in the 90s. And I've seen the highlights, and I know he does some cool things. But 2010's LeBron is insane.
From an
he
athletic
could do literally
standpoint.
anything. It's
Steroids,
just like watching.
I don't care.
I don't care.
It all.
Yeah, he could do it all. And Jokic, like, it's same thing. Like, he may be a little boring to watch, but it's unbelievable to see what he could do. Like,
It's a passer.
Anyway,
it's just
besides
ridiculous.
Besides the point. So, my thing is, I'm not a LeBron stan. I love the NBA. I'm not somebody that follows players either. I just told you I'm an Orlando Magic fan. Who am I following to the Magic?
Come on, you got Paolo, you got Franz.
For now. Well, I was an Orlando Magic fan already, but Jalen Suggs is on the team. I'm a Zag. So like that was big time. They almost if they would have went the other way, would have had Suggs and Chet, which would have my brain would have exploded if that happened. But it's okay. I like Paolo. Us Orlando Magic fans like Paolo. Like I still think he's gonna be good. He's only like 23 years old. Like I get in the NBA, he's basically at his midlife crisis. But he's
hasn't
he's
even
entered
the prime. He's good.
Yeah.
He's
good. So LeBron's in the Sixers. So LeBron the last 2 years hasn't been what LeBron is. The best thing he's done is accepted at the end of last year. He accepted his role as like maybe the third best player on the team. He let Reeves and Luka do their thing. But him going to the Sixers, what seismic it's more of Jaylen Brown going to the Sixers that's going to make the Sixers unbelievably good. Forget Embiid. Embiid's whatever. But Tyrese Maxey and Jaylen Brown.
We're saying this about a former MVP. He's whatever. Whatever.
But he doesn't play.
Yeah.
When he won MVP, he played like 58 games. Like he shouldn't have won. I will die. I don't care what anyone says. The Joker should have won that year.
Yeah.
Embiid played like 64 games, and they gave it to him because they didn't want to give Jokic 3 straight.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, we know that. Yeah.
Passionate
we know
about
that.
this.
We know that.
Passionate about this.
We know that.
Anyway, what is LeBron really bringing to the Sixers that is going to put them over the top other than him being LeBron at this point of his career? He's going I think he's 42, 43. He for the first time didn't score 10 points in a game. He's still great. He's still a very good player. But unless he like comes in knowing like I'm going to start, but I'm not going to be one of the superstars. He's not going to be better. He's not going to be bigger than Tyrese Maxey. He's not going to be bigger than Jaylen Brown. At times, he might not be bigger than Joel Embiid on the floor, right? Like he might be the fourth guy on the floor at some points. Can he accept that role, or is he going to still think he needs to be that guy? Which he's almost in his mid-40s. Like, it's nothing against LeBron. He's almost in his mid-40s. Eventually, you do start to go down. Like, it happens eventually.
Tom Brady. Don't tell that to Tom Brady. Don't tell that.
He retired, didn't he?
He did. You're right. He
retired. He knew it. He knew it was going to happen soon.
He did.
That's why he's playing flag football now. Because he's like, if I'm not getting
touched,
touched, I could still be great.
He knew. Yeah. No, you're completely. Yeah, you're right, man.
I think they're going to be good. Listen, they're going to be better than Orlando. That's for sure. I'm not trying to say like Orlando is going to be better than them. It's no shot. But I just think like Sixers will be better than last year. You still got to beat the Knicks. I know they lost Mitchell Robinson and whatever. As long as Jalen Brunson's on that floor, that team's tough. I can't believe how good he is.
I know for me, it's like again, obviously I'm Canadian, so I have to rep the only Canadian team that we have, of course, my Toronto Raptors. And
It's
I'm
either
just
that or you
waiting
got to
for
be a
the
Memphis
Kawhi
Grizzlies
trade.
fan. You either got to be a
Exactly.
Memphis Grizzlies fan or you
Exactly.
got to be a Toronto fan. Yeah.
R.I.P. to the Vancouver Grizzlies, to the,
Yeah.
But it's
Now
like
they're
as
the Memphis Grizzlies, where it's not a grizzly bear in 200 miles, but yeah,
exactly.
just like there's not a lake in 1,000 miles for LA, but whatever.
Yet they're the Lakers. That's how it
You got to
works.
be the Lakers though, because it's historic. Even though there's no lakes in all of California, you got to be the Lakers.
But no, for me, it's like I don't know. I love the narratives of it. Like of course, like I would still love Kawhi to go to the Raps, of course, like the whole assuming the trade goes through and the whole aspiration thing, whatever.
Yeah.
But just to kind of see what happened in the East, I think it's cool. Like I think it kind of made I'm not gonna say like made basketball exciting again, but yeah, like because even this last finals, it was cool to see the Knicks in there, but it was also kind of like the fact that it was kind of surprising. It's like that kind of lets you know everything right there. Like it's kind of like
Yeah.
oh shit,
Well,
oh wow,
that-
they made it this far. Wow.
That was the cool part, though, right? Because
Yeah.
like the thing about the Knicks being in the finals, winning the finals was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends that are Knicks fans. I'm originally from New York, and I said, out of the two, the Spurs are who you want. You want the Spurs. Like you don't want OKC. OKC's now experienced with this. Blah blah blah. Whatever you want to say. You want the Spurs to see them win and win as easily as they did. Was shocking. It was shocking because we didn't expect them to do that to the Spurs. We thought it was going to be the Spurs or whoever won the Spurs. OKC was going to be the champion, right?
Foregone
But
conclusion.
the big thing about the Knicks coming out of the East, and I think the reason all these players are flocking to the East, because the East has also been pretty bad, which is just so funny. This happens every couple of years, right? Like, oh, the West stinks this year, and then all the good players go over to the West, and then it's like, oh, well, now the East stinks. Now they all go back over to the East. Yeah. Like, well, did that get what's going on here? You guys are just making each one just stay where you are when those guys go, and now you're going to be good over there. But when the Knicks went to the finals, it was shocking because there were teams that people had way ahead of the Knicks, right? Like the Celtics. Everyone was on the Celtics, right? Like there were teams that were ahead of the Knicks in a lot of people's minds. And I think that's why it was so shocking because everyone was like, the East stinks, the East stinks. Well, then the team that wasn't even the favorite in the East won the NBA Finals.
Handedly.
Maybe it's better than we thought.
Handedly.
Handedly. Yeah, not even like close. Game 3, they probably even shouldn't have even lost Game 3. They should have swept.
Yeah.
So,
no, it's again basketball.
I love
Basketball's
basketball.
fun.
I love basketball. It's my second favorite sport.
What's your first favorite sport? Are you
baseball.
a football guy? Oh, you're a baseball guy.
Baseball. I played baseball my whole life growing up, and then I played after college, but not like professionally. It was like those amateur leagues for a long time. But then I started moving around a lot, and I haven't been able to play since. But diehard Yankees fan. It's the only New York team I follow, even though I'm from New York. But I do love baseball. It's unfortunate because baseball doesn't love itself. I still love baseball. Major League Baseball does not love itself, but I love it.
Trust me, I'm growing up in Toronto. I'm originally from Toronto, so it's like it goes without saying I'm a Blue Jays fan. Or at least like the team that I kind of pay attention to is the Jays.
Yeah.
We were just in the series last year, and now we're doing terrible this year, which is that's so Toronto. Like you can't.
That's baseball, Susan. That's what happens.
It's Toronto. It's not even just baseball. It's like that's so Toronto. Like seeing us win, almost pretty much win the finals and then lose like in the last inning. Pretty much, it was like that's Toronto.
Yeah.
That's what we do. It wouldn't be, that's us.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
As a Yankees fan, I shouldn't admit it, but I was pulling so hard for the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
Because I just can't. As a Yankees fan, people say you can't say this, but I don't like what the Dodgers. I don't care that the Dodgers spend $1 gajillion. There's no salary cap. Do what you wish. The deferred money thing is just, I can't stand it because. This is the problem with the deferred money. Not that they're deferring money. That's not great either. It should at least count towards the salary cap. I don't care if you defer. You can defer the money until 30, 45 for all I care. But the salary cap, like Shohei's salary cap, should still be $70 million on the cap, not $2 million. That's ridiculous. But the problem with them deferring the money to Shohei Ohtani was not only now they can go sign anybody else and still not have to worry about it because there's only $2 million, but there's such an influence of Shohei Ohtani that all the Japanese players now want to sign with the Dodgers, where they'll actually take less money to sign with the Dodgers to be teammates with Shohei Ohtani. They've signed 7 Japanese players since Ohtani's been there. He's been there for 2.5 years.
And it's like, go figure. Those Japanese guys are really good. Really good.
Yeah, that's the thing. But and it's fine that they want to play with Ohtani, but the reason they can do it is because of this deferred money thing, where instead of his being $70 million, so now you bring in Yamamoto at $20 million or $30 million, whatever they brought him at. Now you're talking $100 million for 2 players. No, well, if he's $20 million, that's only $22 million. It's an $80 million swing in one foul swoop. So that's to me why it's such a big problem to defer all this money out to the greatest player in the last 100 years. The dude is a Cy Young pitcher and better than Babe Ruth with a bat, and his salary is $2 million a year. Yeah. It's just insane to me. Yeah. But that's to me the biggest problem with that deferred money stuff. I don't even remember how I got to that. Blue Jays.
No, again, you're completely right, because I never thought about it that way, but it's like you're completely right. Again, like using the basketball as an example, it's like Jalen Brunson. Him taking less money means he can get other people to come with him. It's like you extrapolate that into
$28 million. You know what I mean? Like he still makes $28 million. Like,
for baseball,
it would really be like
just
if you want an equivalent to basketball for people that don't really understand what's going on. If Wemby left the Spurs and went to, let's say the Lakers, because they're in LA, not because of anything else, just they're in LA, and they're like, I'll take $2 million a year for the next 30 years. And on the salary cap, and basketball is a salary capped sport. And on the salary cap now, he's only $2 million a year. Every single year he's with the Lakers for the rest of his life. Now they can go sign, whoever they want. Jason Tatum becomes a free agent. They can go get him. Like, they can re-sign Luka. They can go get all these other pieces. Maybe Shea becomes a free agent. They can get him. When in reality, with Luka and Wemby at max contracts, they shouldn't be able to afford anybody else, especially with this second apron stuff, which is just a whole other thing. But they shouldn't be able to get anybody else. That's what the Dodgers are basically doing. There's no hard cap in baseball, but there is taxing and stuff like that. If you go over a certain threshold, and they're over that threshold already. So imagine with Shohei, they'd be almost $100 million extra over what they already are. So that's it. A lot of people think of it like it's garbage that he gets paid $2 million a year. He's the greatest player maybe to ever play on the planet Earth. But that's also garbage. But the real thing is the influence he has on all these other great players, and the fact that they can now kind of afford to bring them in because he doesn't make anything a year.
And the thing that, again, somebody like Shohei especially, it's just the idea of it's so much, he makes so much money just off the field. So it's like,
that's why he doesn't care.
He doesn't care. It's like, man, like in Japan, I'm making whatever you guys would have been paying me, I'm probably making that over there just in terms of sponsorships, everything else. And then I'm going to get paid later on. It's like, come on. Like, of course, like, I get where you're coming from, but like from his end, I'd be like, hell yeah, like I'm doing that too. You crazy?
Yeah, like for him, it doesn't matter because he gets that equivalent to it's like $700 million overall is what he's supposed to get. 10 years, $700 million or something. And over time, he's going to get that now. Like, he's going to get $2 million a year every year until he dies, basically. Like, he's never going to have to worry about money. But I think when he was with the Angels, I don't know if anything's really been talked about with the Dodgers. The Angels are the LA team, quote unquote. But he was making like $200 million off the field with the Angels. So you can only imagine what he's doing with the Dodgers, right? Like, he doesn't care. He's like, yeah, now when that dries up, I retire and yeah, I'll still be a star over in Japan. I don't know if you know much about Japanese baseball and stuff. It's either Baseball's Not Dead or one of those YouTubers does this unbelievable. It's like a 2-hour documentary about Japanese baseball, and it's called The Tournament. It's like this high school tournament. When you win it, if you're like the winning pitcher in it, you become like God level stats for the rest of your life. No matter what you do, you become like God level stats. It's a fantastic watch. If you have never watched it.
Yeah.
But, like, he won that, and he's the greatest player on earth. He can go back to Japan and be a star for the rest of his life, right? Like, but money will never dry up, no matter what he does. He could retire right now. Money's never going to dry up because he signed a contract that's going to last the rest of his life.
It's, again, the whole idea of celebrity fame, celebrity worship, I should say. Like, I think it's crazy that somebody could be so revered in multiple countries. As you said, he's a god in Japan, and it's like he's a pretty big deal in America too. You know what I mean?
He's a big deal here.
He's massive. you know.
If
But
you talk about Japanese superstars in America, you think of like BTS and Shohei Ohtani,
it
right? Like who
just,
else do you really think of? If you think of
yeah,
like famous like Asians in the United States right now, like who's at the top? It's like Shohei Ohtani and
show me.
BTS.
Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to think of another one. It's like,
Yeah,
no, I
I
can't
can't even
even.
think of another
Yeah,
one. If you
it's
think
so
of other ones,
terrible.
you're like thinking of
Yeah,
people that are from years ago.
yeah.
You know, you're not thinking of anybody current. It's crazy.
Nah, man, that's
It's
crazy.
good for him. He's the
Amazing
greatest
for
player to
him.
ever touch dirt. So like he should
Amazing
be.
for him. Yeah,
Yeah.
great for him, his family. Okay. Okay. Well, just so we don't go on forever, I love this conversation, but obviously, we can't go on. What I guess as
Hey, we
a
started early. I got time now. You guys got as many questions as you want.
okay, we've got two more questions. We've got two
Okay.
questions. In terms of Mad Props and everything that you've done and everything that you're creating, where do you want to take it eventually? Like what do you want to keep it as a podcast? Do you like what types of goals do you have? And even just like creatively, like do you want to maybe make your own comics or your own cartoons? Like where do you want to where do you see yourself going?
So I'll start with the Mad Props one of it. I like the format it is. Like the ultimate dream would be one that I could do in person. In-person interviews are just so much better than online ones, but it works, and we get the people we get guests that we really like, and that like us, and eventually we do meet a lot of these people in person. The whole reason I still do it is because I just love talking to people, and the being able to like have Rob Paulson on and then have him invite us out to when he's at a convention in our city or something like that, and just get to meet him and stuff like it's really cool. But I want to continue it. It's a lot of work right now with my everyday job, but it's something I really love doing, so I continue to do it. Like after this recording, tomorrow, not when you're listening, when we're recording, I'm doing 2 more interviews, and then during the week I have 2 more interviews because I'm trying to stack some up because I have a lot of stuff coming up for work. I'm going to be up late, lots of edits, things like that, but because I love what I'm doing, like I just continue to do it and continue to grow from there. As it goes to what you're saying, the job I currently have I really like, so I don't really think outside of it, but I don't even think I would be good at it. I've always wanted to be a voice actor, and that's why I think I have voice actors on as much as I do. I can't do voices like Carl Sells Rocky or something like that. But I've always been like, during 2020, I did voice act for very small projects that I can never find anymore. They showed them to me once. I went back to look at them. I can't find them anywhere. But the problem with it is like, I have a very bass voice. Like it's very low. So I'd have to be like the villain or something like that. I'd have to be like the Texan.
But those are the best parts, though. Come on, like
Yeah,
those are
I
the best
guess,
parts.
yeah. If I'm in an anime, people would love
Yeah.
it. If I'm in anime, people would love that. So it's something I've always wanted to get into, but like at the same time, like I wouldn't leave my job for it, and also doing my podcast could be a daunting task at times. So maybe one day I'll try to get back into it, doing something. But yeah, I'd have to be the villain or the Texan or something along those, something with a deep voice. Got to come up with characters first.
The demon, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the
Somebody,
demon.
or the
like
really
the
scary
radio.
cop,
The
or
radio is
somebody,
in the background. Like, like it's the whole time thing. Yeah, I when I talk to some of them, I'm like, off air, I'll be like, what do you recommend, like, for somebody that would do it? Because I've talked to some of them, be like, I've always wanted to do it, but I don't think I'll ever actually do it. But just in case one day I just say screw it and decide to do it, the first thing is like, you need 15 characters on a demo tape, and I'm like, I have 0. I have
Okay.
0 characters. Guess I had to come up with those first. But yeah, they're great. I love that community too. That community is amazing. Like that voice. I'm not a huge convention person. Conventions overall are kind of like, they're fun but funny to me at the same time. You're talking about celebrity worship, like. There's a lot of that at these. Yeah. Like you go to it and one big name is here and the line is literally out the door down to the Walmart. And but for me, those are great because a lot of the people I meet either have come on my podcast and I meet them, or I get to talk to them in some way, shape, or form. Now that I've had a good amount of people on, they actually will introduce me to other people, which is really cool because they're all friends and stuff like that. But conventions, it's not even that meeting the people. it's all the booths and stuff. They become very expensive as well, from the ticket to get in, and then like you see all this merch that you just want to buy, and you're like, I don't want to go bankrupt at this place. But now I don't have to worry about the ticket price usually, at least, so that's good because there's usually somebody from the podcast that's there, and I can go say hi to them, and then I just kind of move my way out the door. But
It's like, where are the flea market comic books when I need them? Like, I don't want to, buy these ones here. Yeah.
Well, that's I'm a big retro video game guy, and I'm a big comic book guy, and both of those markets are tough now because they're expensive. Even regular comics are almost $5 for just a regular comic, and then so this is one of my favorite games of all time, and I got it on GameCube because that's what I own. Simpsons Hit and Run. So I got it recently after I got my new job or finished my old job. I don't remember what it was. As a celebration to myself, I was like, I'm going to go into a video game store, and if I find something I like, no matter the price, if I like it, I'm going to get it. So I got this. It was like $65 or $70 or something like that.
And that's USD. Sorry,
that's
just
USD.
to everybody listening,
sorry,
this is USD.
This is USD. Like,
wow.
That's how much the game was when it came out.
Yeah.
But that's on the low end. Like I've been searching for that game forever, and that game's like $150 and up. People on the internet love to say it's like, I bought it for $1. It's like, no, you didn't. I know you didn't. I've been searching for this game for years. I know for a fact you didn't buy it for $1. God, that one always got to me because I talked to somebody else about it, and everybody's like, I bought that for $1. I can't believe you overpaid for it. I can guarantee you the one you bought is fake. Because no real Simpsons Hit and Run on GameCube, PlayStation, or Xbox is $1. Get it out of your head. Anyway,
get out of here.
Get out of here. But that's how much it was at launch. Now you're talking like, you want to get like this Paper Mario 1,000-Year Door. It's like $200. Like, it's a GameCube game, and same with comic books, right? Like, once they become big, that $4-5 comic is like $60, $100, $200. It's like, I just want, like, for comics especially, I just want to buy them to read them. Like, I don't really have ones displayed. I think there's one displayed behind me right now, but it's a Super Mario one signed by Charles Martinet. Wow. Like, it's not a comic. Yeah. That's why it's displayed. It's signed by Charles Martinet. Yeah. It's not like I have a comic that I'm putting behind me. So, and if I was, it would be for something like this podcast. So it's like, yeah. Collections that can't go into it on this podcast because it's a whole other topic that I'm very passionate about, because a lot of people I've worked with are in the comic industry, or they're in the card collecting industry, that's not my favorite. Not my favorite. Not that I hate people that collect cards. Collecting cards is fine. It's the trading resale stuff that gets to me. There's a lot of slime balls in it.
Yeah. No, you're completely right. That's not just Logan Paul.
No, it's actually, you know what? He's furthest from it, and that's the bad part. That's the bad part. He's not even close to the top guy. That's the slime balls. He wouldn't even crack the top 25 of the slime balls in the card industry. Put it this way. I'll just give you a quick one. Mm-hmm. If an adult can screw over a kid in a hobby, then it's not it. It's a piece of cardboard. It's a piece of cardboard. Come on.
When you say it like that, that's actually so real. Like, just a really
that's it. Like,
logical taking everything away. It's
if
like,
an adult can screw over a kid out of money, it's not right.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that. And I've worked with a lot of people that are in the card industry or do something in the card industry, and a lot of them go to those conventions. And something like Collecticon, which is a national, a U.S. national, I don't know if they go to Toronto or not, or Canada or not, but it's a U.S. national thing where it's just a traveling Comic-Con. It's a lot of cards. And I've worked with some people that are at those Collecticons, and you see it. You see it firsthand. Like, you see, like, a kid come up with a card, and they're like, I'll trade you this one, and the guy does it. And then you're like, you look at the value of the card, and it's like, that card you traded him is $7, and the card he gave you is $200. You screwed a kid out of $200 for what? Like, you're an adult man.
Yeah.
If you're that desperate for money, get a job.
Yeah. You shouldn't be here right now. Yeah.
Don't tell me cards are your job, because it's not. Yeah. Your job is being a slime ball. I'd have more respect for you if I saw you were selling heroin on the side of the road. Yeah. Like,
at least you're selling it to adults.
That's
Yeah,
what I was about
you're
to say.
right.
At least
Yeah,
adults are
you're right.
getting that.
You're right.
Like,
At least you're selling it to
at
adults,
least
man.
you're
Yeah.
selling it to adults, man. Like, yeah. So
No,
another tangent.
that's
I just can go off on tangents. That's the problem. The level of it's funny. I know the level of tangent. By if my puppy who's right now next to me, that's why my arm's moving, starts freaking out because if I really start getting passionate, she gets up and she gets all feisty.
you have to
If
show it
she's
to
laying
everybody,
down,
bro.
yeah, if I'm laying down, I look over and I go, oh, I'm not feisty enough. I have to get going. Sadie, come here, up. This is Sadie. She's the one. She's the one that you want to say something.
Hello,
Good
Sadie.
girl. When she gets active, when she gets riled up and wants pets and jumps on me and stuff, that means it was a good tangent that I just went on.
That's good.
Right, Sadie?
I
Was it
love
good?
it.
You don't like that either, do you? You don't like cards. All right, go.
All right. We'll end on this one. What is one, like, again, as a content creator, what is one piece of advice that you would give to somebody who's just starting their journey, whether it's like a podcast or a channel, something like that? Like, what would you tell them?
Well, I'll do two. I'll do like creating a channel or something like that, and then I will do a podcast specifically, like similar to Mad Props. As a creator, just keep pushing, and I treat it like let me rephrase this. Treat it like you're a musician. Whether you're performing in front of 10,000 people or 10 people, you should be performing the same way. If there's no one watching your streams, or if there's a million people watching your streams, you should still be treating it the same way every single time, because when there are a million people watching your streams, there will be people going back to watch when you had zero. So you don't want to be someone that looked like they were uninterested. Also, you're going to lose your passion if you're talking to air. Eventually, they're going to be talking. I like to call it screaming at ghosts. I take that from the Ringer Fantasy Show. Shout out to Danny Heifetz and Danny Kelly. I take it from that one. But they love to say they're yelling at ghosts because us as podcasters or us as YouTubers can't hear you at the end of the day.
Good point, yeah.
So it's a funny one. It's a funny line. But one day they're going to be one yelling, talking to ghosts, not you. So keep going no matter what the view counts are there. Now, when it comes to like an interview podcast format, rejection is going to happen. But my best advice is the worst anyone could say is no. They're never going to be like, no, also, I'm coming to arrest you. Or no, and now I'm standing outside, I'm going to hit you with a hammer. Like, that's not going to happen. The worst thing someone's going to say is no, or they're not going to get back to you. So really reaching out to somebody only has a positive to it, right? There's only a yes that can really come out of it. Because if you don't send somebody that message of like, hey, can you come on? Or that email like, hey, I'd love to have you on. The answer's already no, right? It's that same, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Like, it's corny, but it's true. Like, if you don't send them an email, you don't send them a call, you don't send them a message, they're not going to come on because they have no idea you want them on in the first place. And you never know who you're going to get. You really never know who you're going to get. One time we got Alan Hahn, who is he's on ESPN Radio, but he's on Get Up on ESPN and stuff like that. He's a big Knicks guy, big basketball guy. We had Alan Hahn on. I did not think I'd hear back from him. I don't even remember. I got his email from somebody. They didn't have a connection to him. I don't know where they got the email from, but I reached out and just hoped for the best. And he got back to us, and he came on the podcast, and I was shocked because I'm a New York guy. I've heard him a million times. He was on Barton Hahn at the time on ESPN Radio. He was on Get Up. He's on Knicks coverage. He's on MSG. Like, big name for us to get. But I just shot my shot and hope for the best. You're never gonna get a yes if you don't send anything out. So.
That's advice for life, man. That's not even just the podcast stuff. That's advice for life. I appreciate that.
So I talk to a lot of students as well, and I say the same thing. Like, reach out. You apply for a job. The next most important thing is figure out who you just talk to and reach out to them and thank them. Like, you can find almost anybody you talk to on LinkedIn, especially if it's like a high-end company. Find them on LinkedIn. Just shoot them a message. They may never see it, but it's still, when they do, it definitely helps. It helps you out a lot. So always shoot your shot. Never know.
I appreciate that, man.
You're dating somebody. You want to date somebody, shoot your shot. You never know.
Tell them. Tell them. Tell them. That's real. That's real. All right, Chris. Where can everybody find you, and what projects should we all keep an eye on that you're working on that you're going to give us hopefully pretty soon?
Sure. So you can find Mad Props anywhere you get your social media. That's TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, at Mad Props Pod. You can also find us on YouTube, where you can either watch the podcast or you can watch clips of the podcast, whatever floats your boat. At Mad Props Pod on YouTube as well, or just search Mad Props Podcast or Mad Props with Chris Schnabel. It should come up either way. You can also find me on social media at Chris Schnabel. That's spelled Schnabel. Wherever you get your social media as well. I'm more active on Instagram and TikTok than anything else. Not active at all on Facebook. I don't even know if I still have a Twitter. So you can follow me on there if you want, but I probably won't respond to you on either of those. But I do have Instagram and TikTok. I'm also pushing my own YouTube stuff. There's nothing really out there yet, but I've been cooking up some good videos. I don't want to give any ideas away because I've been working hard on them. Somebody comes and does it better than me. I want to have mine out first before they do it better than me. So
Mum's the word.
But,
we won't say anything.
You can definitely go find Mad Props though. We release every Monday morning. We have a couple of really fun ones coming up. History Helms on YouTube, a smaller YouTube creator, but he's growing. He does like these really fun history, like why was Thomas Jefferson never the president, like a lot of really fun history things, but he adds a lot of creativity to it. So he's going to come on, and we got a couple more comic creators coming on as well. I don't want to announce those in case they cancel on me because I haven't recorded those yet. And some stuff from when we did Comic Palooza. We have a couple more interviews from that coming out. There's a lot of people that are coming on. It's hard to announce them all. We have a Discord where I like to announce them when they're finally final. But I try not to announce before because I've done that before, and then the guest never comes on. So that's a good piece of advice as well. If you're doing an interview show, be ready for someone to not show up. That's actually the worst thing that can happen, and it does happen. But it's very rare, but it definitely happens. Trust me.
See, knowledge. To everybody listening,
knowledge is power on that one.
Listen to Chris. Take it in. Chris,
I've had times where I've sat there waiting for somebody, and I'll be like, man, it's been like 25 minutes. I'll email them, nothing. I've had people that never get back to me after that. Like, I never hear from them again. Most of the time, it's like, oh, I got the time mixed up, or, oh, sorry, I missed it. Especially you're dealing with people, pretty big names. They're not going to tell you that they're going to be late. But that's the worst that can happen, but be ready for it to happen, and you'll be all right. Just have, like, a YouTube video on the side or something. That's what I do. Or a game. Just play your PlayStation while you're waiting.
That's all it is. Well, Chris, thank you so much. I really do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to talk to us. And again, everybody listening, go reach Mad Props. Go check it out because it's real. It's real. Chris,
and like and subscribe here as well.
Like and subscribe here.
Right here.
Goes
Comment down
saying.
below. People hate me on social media. Go ahead, tell me what I said wrong. Tell me my opinions suck. Do it, but do it in the comments here. All right. Don't do it anywhere else. Just talk about me right here.
You guys,
I'll respond to every single one.
Chris, I appreciate it so much, man. Thank you so
James.
much. You have a great one, man.
You too.